Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus Channel. The F-18 Super Hornet is one of the most versatile and reliable strike fighters in the United States Navy. Introduced as an advanced evolution of the classic Hornet, it delivers greater range, improved survivability, and increased payload capacity for modern missions. Powered by two General Electric F-414 engines, the aircraft provides strong thrust for carrier launches and demanding combat maneuvers. Its advanced radar, precision-guided weapons, and multi-role design allow pilots to handle air defense, strike, and close support missions. The Super Hornet remains a cornerstone of carrier air wings worldwide. On an aircraft carrier, the movement and parking of F-18 fighters is a precise and carefully choreographed process. Deck crews use hand signals and color jerseys to guide each jet across the crowded flight deck, ensuring safe spacing while launches and recoveries continue nearby. Powerful tow tractors position the aircraft into tight parking spots, often only inches from the deck edge or other jets. Chocks, chains, and tie-down points secure each F-18 against wind, sea motion, and jet blast. This coordination keeps the carrier ready for continuous flight operations. Before an F-18 launches from an aircraft carrier, deck crews conduct a detailed inspection of the jet. Checking landing gear, control surfaces, and fuel levels. The aircraft is then positioned on the catapult, while final checks confirm engine power and proper alignment. During recovery, the pilot approaches the deck at a controlled angle, guided by the landing signal officer and the optical landing system. The tailhook is lowered to catch one of the arresting wires, bringing the jet to a rapid stop. These steps ensure safe and continuous carrier operations. The flight deck of an aircraft carrier is one of the most dangerous workspaces in the world. High winds, shifting sea conditions, and constant aircraft movement create a fast-paced environment where every second matters. Jet blast, rotor wash, and intake suction pose serious hazards to nearby crew members. Heavy equipment, moving tow tractors, and tightly packed aircraft increase the risk of collisions. Loud noise and limited visibility demand absolute focus from everyone on deck. Through strict procedures, constant communication, and disciplined teamwork, sailors maintain safety while supporting non-stop flight operations. In July 2015, Navy divers and explosive ordnance disposal technicians from Commander Task Group 56.1 carried out a demanding recovery mission in the United States 5th Fleet Area of Operations. Their objective was to locate and salvage an F-18 Super Hornet that had come to rest on the seafloor after an unexpected mishap. Working in deep water with limited visibility, the team used advanced sonar systems, remotely operated vehicles, and precise navigation to pinpoint the aircraft's position. Once located, divers descended to secure lifting points and assess the structural condition of the jet. Explosive ordnance disposal technicians ensured the aircraft was safe to handle by inspecting remaining fuel, batteries, and any unspent ordnance that could pose a hazard during recovery. The team then rigged specialized lifting equipment that allowed a crane on a nearby vessel to raise the aircraft slowly and safely to the surface. This operation demonstrated the skill, readiness, and teamwork of Navy diving and EOD units. Their expertise ensured the aircraft was recovered intact, protected sensitive equipment, and supported ongoing fleet operations throughout the region. The mission remains a strong example of the precision and discipline required for underwater recovery. The average Nimitz-class aircraft carrier in the U.S. Navy carries up to 6,000 crew, commanders, and airmen on board. Acting as essentially a floating airbase, the center of activity on any carrier is the flight deck. And on the flight deck, every crew member must remain fully aware of their duties at all times. U.S. carriers employ a color-coded system to prevent accidents and streamline operations. Specifically, flight deck crews wear differently colored jackets and helmets to quickly indicate their particular roles and responsibilities during flight operations. For example, green is worn by catapult and arresting gear crews, air wing maintenance personnel, cargo handling personnel, ground support equipment troubleshooters, and hook runners. This group primarily focuses on maintenance, launch, and recovery operations, meaning that they manage the takeoff and landing of various aircraft. Known as grapes due to their color, purple jackets are designated for aviation fuel handlers. These men and women are responsible for fueling and defueling aircraft. While this may seem straightforward, these are actually critical operations requiring strict adherence to safety procedures. Indeed, handling large quantities of aviation fuel in an environment with multiple potential ignition sources carries inherent risks. Thus, grapes are easily identifiable not only by their color, but also by protective gear such as gloves and goggles, which guard against fuel splashes and vapors. Flight deck crew members in red jackets are generally Ordnance personnel, though crash and salvage teams and explosive ordnance disposal also wear crimson. These men and women primarily handle, transport, and load different types of ordnance, including missiles, bombs, and ammunition, onto aircraft. This process begins below deck, where all ordnance undergoes thorough inspections and safety checks to ensure it is in proper working condition and safe to handle. Once complete, red jackets manage transportation of the ordnance to the flight deck, loading, and arming. In the event of an incident, ordnance personnel are trained to respond rapidly to control and mitigate the situation, even disposing of ordnance if necessary. Several other jacket colors are used on aircraft carrier flight decks. Yellow jackets are worn by aircraft handling officers, arresting gear officers, and plane directors. These personnel primarily direct aircraft on the flight deck, including taxiing, takeoff, and landing operations. Blue jackets are worn by plane handlers and aircraft elevator operators. This group handles and moves aircraft on both flight and hangar decks. Landing signal officers and other senior personnel usually wear white. As highly trained aviators, LSOs provide real-time feedback to incoming pilots, often assisting them in adjusting their approach to ensure safe landings. The average aircraft carrier flight deck is outfitted with billions of dollars of equipment, all vital for supporting the men, women, and aircraft on board in performing their duties. The most crucial of this equipment is likely the catobar system. Catobar stands for Catapult Assisted Takeoff but Arrested Recovery. As the name suggests, the system features a steam or hydraulic catapult that launches each aircraft to takeoff speed within seconds, enabling the use of the carrier's comparatively short runways. The rear of the system has arrestor wires that catch each plane and absorb its kinetic energy, bringing it to a safe stop. On some newer ships, catobar is being replaced with EMLS, or Electromagnetic Aircraft Launch System. This modern catapult uses electromagnetic technology to launch aircraft, providing smoother acceleration, reduced stress on aircraft, and increased control and precision. Most carriers feature multiple runways and several catapults. This setup maximizes operational efficiency, flexibility, and safety by allowing simultaneous launch and recovery operations. While one aircraft is launched via a catapult on one runway, another can be landing and caught by arresting gear on a different runway. Multiple arresting wires also provide redundancy. Because the wires are designed to engage the arresting hook of incoming aircraft, having several wires increases the likelihood of a successful catch on the first attempt. While the flight deck is critical to a carrier's daily operations, two other areas exert significant control over activity on board. The first is the island, a tower housing the bridge, carrier air traffic control center, and primary flight control. Beyond being the operational hub for the ship's commanding officer and navigation team, the island is the nerve center for both navigation and flight operations. The second vital area is the bubble, a glass-enclosed section in the flight deck that contains the integrated catapult control station. From this vantage point, the catapult officer supervises all flight deck operations. Operating the catapult requires close coordination with the air boss, who performs the final checks on aircraft and deck conditions before launch. The U.S. Navy has entered the 21st century with aircraft carrier flight deck simulators such as this. Known as the Flight Deck Crew Refresher Training Expansion Pack, or TEP, it employs virtual reality to immerse trainees in a realistic flight deck environment, allowing them to practice and respond to various scenarios, including emergencies, equipment failures, and complex aircraft recovery operations. Since LSOs play a critical role in carrier flight safety, TEP enhances trainee decision-making, communication skills, and situational awareness through focused training modules. Those who have served aboard a carrier are likely familiar with other essential duties crew members may perform. One of these is the FOD walk. FOD stands for Foreign Object Debris, referring to any loose item that could damage aircraft or injure personnel if blown by a propeller or drawn into an engine intake. A FOD walk is usually conducted by crew lining up shoulder to shoulder across the deck, meticulously checking for foreign objects such as rocks, tools, and bolts. This activity is typically done at the start of the day and before flight operations, though frequency depends on operational tempo and deck conditions. Another critical safety and maintenance duty is the flight deck scrub. Scrubbing removes small debris invisible to the naked eye, but still potentially hazardous to aircraft or personnel. It also ensures aircraft, vehicles, and crew maintain proper traction while moving on the deck. Over time, the deck can become slippery from spilled fluids, wear, and environmental factors such as sea spray and rain. Scrubbing removes these hazards, maintaining grip for aircraft and crew. Additionally, regular scrubbing eliminates salt deposits and other corrosive substances, prolonging the deck's structural integrity and reducing the need for costly repairs or replacements. In the end, every scene on a carrier flight deck, from the power of the F-18 Super Hornet to the discipline of the sailors who guide it, reveals the extraordinary teamwork behind naval aviation. These operations demand constant focus, technical mastery, and precise coordination from hundreds of skilled men and women. Whether launching jets, recovering them, maintaining equipment, or training for the next challenge, the crew keeps the carrier ready to project air power anywhere in the world. That's the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.